divide we by race, using their religion as a hate platform on the radio and TV station. Boy, you keep getting up a storm with one intention. Boy, I'm thirsty on a mission. You don't know me conviction. I'm not holding back. I'm not holding back. I come out to whack, 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 whack. Whack them Kenny, whack, 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 whack. Whack them Kenny, for soca is whack. For Kaiso is whack. For Limbo is whack. Parang and Bongo, whack. I come out to whack, 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 whack. Whack them Kenny, whack them Kenny. Politician who misleading the nation is a special whacking for you. Look at mass unemployment with little enjoyment. Tell me what we are coming to. It's violence and crime, broad daylight gunshots. Every community is now a new hotspot. When police call criminals and usher them to court in this kangaroo system where justice can be bought. With one intention, I come out to whack. I thirsty on a mission. You don't know my conviction. I'm not holding back. I'm not holding back. No, I come out to whack, 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 whack. Whack them Kenny, whack, 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 whack. Whack them Kenny. For Bongo is whack. For soca is whack. For Parang is whack. Gospel and steel man, whack, I come out to whack, 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 whack. Whack them Kenny, whack them Kenny. W-A-C-K, whack, me whacking for we culture.
So the one who married to the teacher say, boy, I must have negative the word. He said, my wife studied the fun. You're going to keep doing it till you get it right. You're going to keep doing it till you get it right.
Well, this one goes out to all patriots, all people who love them country bad, love them homeland, will never give it up to another nation. This a fi we with a fear. Nobody give it to no Guatemala. This a fi we with a fear. Nobody give it to no Guatemala. This a me name is Pupa. Belize me come from the Belize City area. 110% Belize and proud of it. Don't tell me about maritime area. Long time ago agreement by the slave master. Talking about the head and the Belize and dollar because this a fi we with a fear. Nobody give it to no Guatemala. This a fi we with a fear. Nobody give it to no Guatemala. I know we should always help our neighbor, especially in time of a natural disaster. But this is not the case with Guatemala because the poor people will never say a dollar. Only a few rich man will start to get richer. To the prime minister be happy, write a letter because
Mr. Politician, we got to change the plans.
God have mercy.
Mr. Politician, we got to change the plans.
This a fi we with a fear. Nobody give it to no Guatemala. This a fi we with a fear. Nobody give it to no Guatemala. Not an inch, not a foot, not a centimeter. We never give up to Guatemala because look what them do to the people of my color. If them speak too loud, sure to get murder. Look what them do to the Indian Maya. Holy by them massacre. La mismo presidente quiere we agua because this a fi we with a fear. Nobody give it to no Guatemala. This a fi we with a fear. Nobody give it to no Guatemala. Believe if you need me, if you need a soldier, just send for the Cooper, cause I'm a true warrior. Just send for Daddy Tracy and Rankin Jr. Just send for Bernie Mac and Kenny M. my brother. Send for Andy B, send for the Mad Rocker. Just send to Stone Jam, you are the commander. Because this a fi we with a fear. Nobody give it to no Guatemala. This a fi we with a fear. Nobody give it to no Guatemala. So listen to the lyrics where Papa a chat. Some people only see ya, some see further than that. From my observations, they plan off the what, yes. Plan off the what to make a quick attack. But if it come to that, me I go pick up the gat, me I go lift enough shot on the militant. Me I go shoot the Indian, me I go shoot the black. Me just lift enough shot on the militant. What? Me want you carry this message straight to the top. Me here we have a lot of island. me come from the Billy City area, 110% Belize and proud of it, sir. Don't tell me about maritime area. Long time ago, agreement by the slave master. Talking about the head and the Belize and dollar because this a feel we with a fear. Nobody give it to no Guatemala. This a feel we with a fear. Nobody give it to no Guatemala. This a feel we with a fear. Nobody give it to no Guatemala. This a feel we with a fear. Nobody give it to no Guatemala. Well, this one goes out to all patriots. All people who love them country bad, love them homeland. Will never give it up to another nation. This a feel we with a fear. Nobody give it to no Guatemala. Follow me now. This a feel we with a fear. Nobody give it to no Guatemala. This time me, my name is Pupa. Belize me come from the Billy City area, 110% Belize and proud of it, sir. Don't tell me about maritime area. Long time ago, agreement by the slave master. Talking about the head and the Belize and dollar because this a feel we with a fear. Nobody give it to no Guatemala. No, this a feel we with a fear. Nobody give it to no Guatemala. I know we should always help our neighbor, especially in time of a natural disaster. But this is not the case with Guatemala because the poor people will never say a dollar. Only a few rich man will start to get richer. To the Prime Minister, be happy, write a letter because
Mr. Politician, we got to change the plans.
God have mercy.
Mr. Politician, we got to change the plans.
This a feel we with a fear. Nobody give it to no Guatemala. No, this a feel we with a fear. Nobody give it to no Guatemala. Not an inch, not a foot, not a centimeter. We never give it to Guatemala because it's offensive to the people of my color. If them speak too loud, you will get murdered.
To my right with glasses is Brother Kenrick Theus from Belize City. We're expecting another caller from the Toledo district. Anytime between now and 11, he'll call in on Krem Radio and then we'll just take his call. So for the duration of the show, you're reporting back based on where you live and what your reality is going through COVID-19 experiences. Any questions? No questions? Out of sweat. Whenever you're not talking, we ask if you could put your mic on mute. And sometimes when you want to talk, it takes like a second before you would press you'll press the button to speak, but it'll take a second before you can actually speak. So just pay attention to when you mute and unmute your mic, please. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, Krem TV. Another Krem TV.
We're on already, yeah. I think we're on already.
Good morning. I did not know we were on Krem TV.
Yes.
Thanks for telling me, Ellen, that we're on the air already. Whee! Out of sweat. I don't know
The
Pastor
heat
Lane,
is
I
on
believe, but
today.
the heat is
I'm in
on.
Dangrega and the heat is on. The heat
You're
is
in
on.
Krieger. You couldn't wait for that.
Yes.
Open up the road so you could go look for people.
I mean, we can't.
I hear you, sister. I hear you. So good morning, everyone. This is the 17th edition, I believe, of Sunday Review for 2020. I'm your host, Yaya Marin Coleman. Our co-host is Ellen Sue Joseph. Good morning, Ellen.
Ellen Sue Joseph.
Good morning. And let me check and see if it's mine. No. And our guest this morning, we have 3 guests. We're continuing. This is our 3rd show where we're having national COVID-19 community report backs. So people from throughout the country of Belize are sharing with us what their experience has been as an individual within their communities throughout 6 districts of Belize. So I'll introduce our brother, Kenrick Theus. He's a person who is a member of the Belize Assembly for persons living with diverse ability. Good morning, Brother Kenrick.
Yes, good morning.
Good day, Brother Kenrick.
It's good to have you with us. How are you feeling this morning, brother?
Well, I'm alive, so I guess I'm doing well.
Give thanks, give thanks. And he represents the Belize district. Up north from the Corozal district, we have our media colleague, our brother Benedict Palmer, the general manager of Rainbow FM, one of our sister stations, who you could hear WB on Rainbow FM, the Corozal, and as far as them bandwidth. Good morning, brother.
Hi, good morning, Yaya. Good morning, Belize. Morning to everyone over there on here right now.
I tell her to represent.
Grand
Well,
rising.
he make sure you know say he not a rainbow.
Rainbow FM.
Run up the place, brother.
Yes, yes. Got to.
We're also expecting a call in from the Toledo district from a brother Mario Muschamp. He works with the Toledo Institute for Environment and Development. Make I put on my glasses and make sure I said the thing right. Toledo Institute for Development and Environment. Mario is a terrestrial manager for Tide. He know just about everything you need to know about fire, I believe. One of the few people who have that type of expertise and underground training. And so Mario will call in at any time on Krem Radio. He's in the field, so he's not able to call in on Skype. So we usually check in, and we've checked in to see how, we know Ellen in a good spirits because did I?
Yes. I had breakfast with 3 mangoes this morning. Fresh for the day by yard.
I have to show up because I get a lot of mango to my taxi driver. Really take care of me up at a Ladyville. What's the vibes in Dangriga? You haven't been there in a while, Ellen Sue. What's the vibes in Dangriga?
Well, I noticed from where my mom lives that everybody is adhering to the regulations. So everybody who passes by, I see them with their masks and everything. Haven't been to the beach as yet. Plan to go after the show. So that's further update. But I noticed everybody, nobody's out after the curfew. So the thing is with Dangriga though, everybody believes that, COVID isn't here. So they are a little bit like, like, why do we have to do this if COVID isn't here? So it's something that we have to get the community to understand that no one has been tested positive for COVID. It's not that we don't know if COVID isn't here. So we have to keep that in mind that no one has been tested who has been positive. But it doesn't mean that we don't have people who are asymptomatic, but so you can't just let down your guard and think that everything is okay, and go revert to what was the norm.
Pharmacist Ellen Sue, what the asymptomatic?
It means that physically, if you look at the person, you won't see anything wrong, and the person might not be feeling anything also. So you have signs, you have symptoms. Symptoms are where you feel, signs are where you show. So you might see somebody to sneeze or have a cough, and the person might have a fever, the person might feel like they have the flu. So it just means that they don't have any symptoms of anything relating to any of the influenza.
But that does not mean that they're not a carrier of the COVID-19.
That doesn't mean correct. So that and to me, those are the people who are most infectious, because then you will lax your security system with them. So if somebody is sneezing, the first thing you say, I'll keep the distance. But if that person not sneeze, I said, boy, I still get a hug, man, because I don't see you a long time. Boom, you get it. So
I
that
can ask you, Ellen, so you got to hug up the people who want to get a Griga? Tell the truth, Ellen.
I hug one person today.
I hear you.
I hug one, and I even hug my ma yet, because I'm afraid.
I hear
So
you.
honestly, I don't hug my ma. I hug my baby when I reach. I had to hug her because I really miss my daughter. So I hug her. But I don't hug my ma. I don't hug my ma. So I make sure I keep even when with the chat, So I just
keep
be
your
mindful
social
of
distance.
that. Correct.
Brother Theos, who is a member of Belize Assembly for Persons with Diverse Ability. Tell us, why is it that you're a member of BAMTA?
Why I became a member?
Yes.
Well, I became I was an amputee about probably like 7 or 8 years ago.
Yes.
And for my right leg due to osteomyelitis, and then I lost the second leg probably about. Osteomyelitis is a bone disease. It's a very degenerative bone disease where the bones simply just start to eat away at its own self. And then it came along with complications, because then I had the organs started to fail as well. So it's to save myself, save my life, so to speak. My leg was amputated, and the second one, I used to use a prosthetic limb, and then the second one was amputated in May of last year when I was living in Mexico.
So you're a double amputee? Brother Kenrick? You're a double amputee.
Yes, I am.
What has life been like for you during COVID-19? Do you communicate with other people living with diverse abilities? Do you feel that you are getting the attention that you need as a double amputee? What is life like for you? Which is the purpose of this particular show, is that we look for the gaps for the people that we don't generally hear from, to hear what their experiences are like.
Well, for me, it's been a mixed bag in the sense that I've had for me, I mean, I can get around in my house rather easily. I can get around in my house. My problem in having trying to get things done outside of the house. That you have to depend on people. I depend mainly on friends who can do things for me, or on a courier service from time to time, dependent, no? There's a lot more courier services opening up all over the place now. If you look on Facebook, you'll see that. I guess they're all making money, but because of the fact that people are locked in, such as myself, who cannot get out, but pretty much I've been doing well, I must say.
Give thanks. And have you communicated with other people who may be living with diverse abilities to hear what their stories may be, if they feel that, because people have different diverse abilities, so they may not be hearing the information?
Yes, I have some friends that I've been in contact with, and I think that what people must realize that for people with diverse ability, it is more than just getting a bag of pantry, a bag of food, because some of them are in need, for example, of specific medication. Let's say insulin, for example. Some might be where they might be in need of sanitary stuff, no, for an ill adult, and those are hard to come by. So and they're very expensive, by the way. So instead of spending money on the food that you and I would want to spend on, or other people might spend on, they have other expenses over and above that. So whatever money, then you don't want to be in a situation where you have to choose or decide, do I get food or do I get insulin? Because in reality, you have to get both, you see? So their expenses and their outlook is different from most people. And so that is where the assistance should also come in for people with disability and diverse abilities, simply because the needs are very, very different from the regular.
I will give the government of Belize credit for, I noticed that for some of the press conferences, they had someone who was signing. They were using sign language, and salute to that. I don't know if I have seen it recently, but respect to that effort. Have you heard anyone recognizing that, who have used that language to help them get information?
No, I do not know anyone who specifically used that medium of expression, but I can tell you that it's a welcome sight for Belize to see that, because yes, there are people who are there who need that service, and it has brought us pretty much. It has brought us, I guess, a little bit better into the, not, I wouldn't say the future, but a little bit at international standards. At least we're in important events and stuff that service is offered. So I expect to see more of that as we go along.
Respect. Go ahead, Ellen Sue.
Mr. Theos, has your income source been affected by COVID? Your income source?
Yes, for me, because I actually work from home. I have a small business, and I do some consultancy for different people, and they're all tourism based. So the minute that hotels and restaurants and bars close down, that basically evaporates that. So it's been a challenge, but as I said to you, thanks to my friends and so in their assistance and all that, and the fact that, I mean, yes, I live here and everything else, but I pretty much self-sufficient in the fact that I'm a chef as well, so I do my own cooking. I do a lot of stuff myself here, which means that I don't have to be buying food out there, which is, literally very expensive. But yes, the income has been affected. But I find it more so for people who were underemployed, prior to COVID-19 that they are especially affected, because I live in the area where I can see the effects of that, and I'm trying my best as I can to help. Children going around hungry. I see the depression in people's faces. When you look at them and you talk to them to understand that they were never working before, at least they used to catch a bill, but now even that has evaporated, and so they're in a worse off situation now. So yes, it has affected me, and it has affected many others in the society.
Okay. And with the sign language, Yaya, did you notice that even though when they have the press conference, they had the signers, but when you saw the news in the evening, they actually cropped the signers out? Did you guys notice that?
Yes, we did, and I've seen some
yes,
conversation on Facebook about it.
Yes, Mr. Theo?
Yes, I saw that. I did see that, and I was amazed because normally they would in other news internationally, the sign language or interpreters, whatever you call them, and specifically are included at the bottom, maybe the bottom right hand corner of the screen, so they're shown. I mean, and we don't have to go far because we tend to want to measure everything against the United States. But for example, in Barbados, under news, you see it. I mean, sometimes when I was living in Mexico, for example, you would see that on the news as well. That's always included. It's not excluded, you know. So certain things, this new norm, as we call it, I think certain things that we have adopted since then should stay and not be weeded out, so to speak. Why start it, and then you take it out in the end when it's going to be to the masses.
Respect. Definitely the media needs to be sensitized to that. Benedict, we're not forget you. Tell me what happened. Thanks, Brother Kenrick. We are continuing to engage you in the conversation. It's very important that each of you share what's happening in your community. For those who may just be joining us, our co-host is Ellen Sue Joseph. I know who the guy should go off camera, right? And then we have Brother Kenrick Theus, who is a double amputee, whole human being living with a diverse ability, and a member of the Belize Assembly for Persons with Diverse Abilities. We also have from up north in Corozal, from Rainbow FM radio station, the general manager, Brother Benedict Palmer. So, my brother, tell me, as a media manager, how COVID-19 has impacted your organization and your employees?
All right, yes, Yaya, Belize, everyone listen in tune. Well, when it comes to Corozal, well, speaking from my part, I'm the manager for Rainbow FM. Right here, I also have the rental. We have Rainbow Rental where we rent tables and chairs, right? So when it comes to that aspect of the business is basically closed from since this basically have started. That's way back to, I would say, from March the 20th, right? So that business catering for party, as you know right now, we can't have party. So that affected. When it comes to radio, many business closed whole of last month. So there were some business that closed that decide, well, if you close, they don't want to advertise, right? So automatically you lose some business like that. Some of the bigger business or business that deal longer term, they might be able to manage, right? So I have been affected my business like that, right? But everybody have to deal with it. Everybody have to continue. When we look at Corozal last month, I mean, it was like when you meet people out there, everybody say every day is Sunday, right? It was like Sunday every day. Then Sunday became like Good Friday. Good Friday was the one day for the year when everything shut down, right? So those Sundays that we were shut down, we look at that like Good Friday. Then every other day became like a normal Sunday, right? So that was the situation like last month. Leading now that we changed, I know last month there was some business that could have probably stayed open and they decided to close, right? Probably it didn't make any sense for them to open. So majority of the business last month basically was closed, right? They were not open. When it comes to this month, well, this week as the new SI took place, And now, as government are opening up more places, we can see more movement. On Friday was the first day when the new SI took place, right? So I took a ride out by the beach. I would say I had suspect to see a lot of people at the beach, but on Friday, on the first day, it wasn't like that. There was people at the beach, but you could have come 1 and 2, right? It wasn't a big crowd. Yesterday I went, but I didn't went like the whole beach. I went just part, and part is 1 or 2 people as well. So I think although people can move, not everybody will be moving, right? And not everyone can afford to move. They open hotel, they open restaurant. I guess if you want to take a vacation, you can take a vacation, but not everyone are able to do that because most of the people are not working. When it comes to the relief funds, you did not talk about that, right? When we come to the release fund, I think what I can say about that release fund, from people I have talked to, people that I know, some people that got help, some people that did not get help, that I don't know who is in charge of the release fund. I don't know what's the who say who should get the help or who should not get the help, or if they take some people and I just have them on hold. But there are some people that I know that actually get the help that don't need the help, or probably they are still working and they still get a help, right? There are some that haven't been working for like 2 years and they still get the help. Then there are others, for example, I know some free zone workers, some casino workers that, well, everybody knows those are closed, right? And they have not getting any release. I know a guy that worked at the casino, his wife is a stay-home mom, right? And his wife applied and his wife got relief, and he that worked applied and did not get, right? So when it comes to this release, I really don't know who is in charge of it. Last week when I heard the Prime Minister speaking on his press conference, not this, the one before, or was it this one? This one when a media asked him about the relief, and it seemed to me that the Prime Minister himself is last. So what I can see is like things happening and the Prime Minister do not know, or he's not aware, right? So maybe it would be good for people to know what can they do, those people that did not get relief. Who do they need to call? Do they need to go to Social Security? Who is in charge, right? Now, I, as a business owner, the week when this thing, it was March, I think the week of the 20th, when this whole relief was announced, I got a personal email asking for a list of my employees, list of the person you have, the person that lose their job because of this, and date that they lose their Social Security numbers, right? Now, I assume that, like how I got it, every employer got this. So I believe that every employer handled this. So this information was sent to the committee that are doing the release. So if they will look at this information that was sent, and if your employee that had to lose his or her job apply for the release, they have the record. But there are people that apply. Like I have an employer that had to be laid off, right? Because, well, like I said, the rental is closed, and they have applied and they have not gotten anything, right? They're supposed to get one text. They say yes, they have received the application, but that was it, right? So, like I said, that's, and then another thing that here in Corozal, I can see that beside the release fund, we have the Chinese community. There was, I don't know how often they do it, but there were some days that the Chinese community actually went out to different houses, giving up pantries, groceries, items to people. We also have, I think the Corozal Town Board did that as well. They had a picture on Facebook they put up, and they went and they gave out some pantries as well. And we have other people from the community that just come together, get items, collect groceries, and give out to the people. The only thing with that is it's very good, but then when people go out and give out and then they don't don't publicize it. They don't say, well, who they give. Then we don't know who actually get the help, right? And what is happening with that there are some people that are getting help from different organizations.
Yeah, they
right?
double dip.
Yeah, different, while others are not, right? So I know one guy that he mentioned to me that he live in a cement house. He work hard, he build a cement house, he have his fence. His neighbor live in a thatch house. So everybody that go to his neighborhood, they would give his neighbor, because his neighbor live in a thatch house, and he would come out and he wouldn't get anything because they look at his house, right? So so those are things, like I said, that I know about, that people have mentioned to me, that if you go through social media, some people will say, if you give to somebody, you don't have to come and say you give it to that person, right? But if everybody will take and give and don't say, then we don't know who have gotten. And it could be that everybody go to the same person and give the same person. And like I said, there's others.
But
right
you
now,
don't believe that they have a social responsibility? Don't you believe that we as citizens have that social responsibility to not double dip? Don't you? The system is
yes.
already not working for us. So if it is that you already receive, you just can't say, I don't get, carry that to Miss Lady Cross, because I don't see nobody gone on her side. So we have a social responsibility to also.
That's true, but the only thing is, most of our people are not honest. That's the real. There are some that probably will do that, right?
You can't.
Listen now, Sue. Listen now, Sue.
Survival mode, man.
Like you don't know with people.
Yeah.
Listen to me. He never say. Listen to we never say all Belizeans stay. So we never say that.
Yeah.
We just say that because we have one large unemployment that Belize, real talk, before COVID-19, with children in a school, one number of people that live, one lot of we live in a small space, intergenerational, and the so we never got money before we start. We don't have money, we don't hand to mouth people, one large part of the population. So whatever we do get, remember now, at least 3 meals a day with a try feed. And you have to cook quite a bit for people. So I just, to be real, it's sad. And I really not think that most people just to be grabalicious because they are just so mean people. I don't feel so.
Yes,
I
exactly.
feel that people who want to eat later.
Yeah. The other thing about it is, if somebody go to your house and you need this, probably this will last you a week or 2 weeks, and somebody else come and bring, you don't know if next week they will come back. Right? So people say, well, I have to take everything right now.
That's survival mode. That's not dishonesty. That's survival mode. And especially when I have, and you say how the people never have one more, you that know what, that it's no longer dishonesty. That it's a fear now where to react to. You react to the fear that I don't know what happen next week. I don't know.
Yeah. That's the problem.
And that's why I say we have a social responsibility. You as the individual. Me, I know I accept anything when I know that somebody else could actually use it in the now. In the now. Not 2 weeks from now. In the now.
Listen to me. I tell people, whenever you hungry, whenever you and your family don't have adequate health care, housing, very few human beings who I know will remain ethical and law-abiding, because that is survival. That is not even fair. That is just, and that's the state that a lot of Belizeans were living in even before COVID-19. So when your basic needs are not met, it's simply survival. Now, when your basic needs are met, and when that the part charity come in, because you may have surplus, but we come from a people where Granny only had 5 Johnny cake, but everybody get a leaf pinch plus then get neighbor. We have lost some of that culture. We still have people who think like that, but we've lost some of that culture. And so I find that both points of views are valid. Our brother called earlier, so we'll have to go to break. He'll call in at the top of when we come back from the next break. For those tuning in, we're listening to the third Krem Sunday Review COVID-19 National Community Report backs. We have Belizeans from throughout the country who are sharing what their realities are in the communities where they live. And so this week we have the Belize District, the Corozal District, and the Toledo District. And we have these report backs every other week. And it so happened that I have two co-hosts and they have one in, one out. And it so happened that Ellen Sue, that the co-host, was a part of this conversation. She's also a pharmacist by profession, and she is a creative person as well. So, and she's on the ground. So we have a healthy mix here this morning, and I really appreciate everyone's input. We'll go ahead and take our first break for the morning. I make a fan card and tell me one of the song of the fan. I want to say how to sweat, right? I done turned 54 last week, plus the hat. Oh no, I really had. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
This one goes out.
Corey, breakfast. Corey, dinner is ready. Corey, dinner. Corey.
Mama na hear they say, live connected. Don't say it.
Do you know anything about gillnet? Have you ever heard of a gillnet?
Do you know what a gillnet is?
I grew up there, yeah, bro, seaside. And like, we use this like so much years, but it's dangerous.
It's not the best way to fish. It hurt the animals.
I don't really agree with the gillnet. I prefer the hand fishing.
Animals like manatees, dolphins, turtles, some of these animals are facing extinction. They are in the net.
Well, and they take up all kind of things. The scrape the sea.
No creo que deben de tener esto en el océano porque mata todos los animalitos. A cualquiera que atrape ahí lo matan.
It is very destructive to the reef and to the organisms that get trapped within the gillnet. So
Fish or a manatee or anything would feel being trapped in something like this.
I don't want them to trap any more manatees or turtles.
It's entrapping the smaller fish, and then that will be less fishes for a future generation.
So many other ways that you can fish.
Deben de usar otro método para pescar.
I say better than bad.
We not have to worry. We have things for the future generation going on, no?
I support Papa. I will save the manatee life. Manatee important in a Belize, so I will save it.
Stop the net!
Belizeans say no to gillnets. If we all fish sustainably, we can always fish.
When you bank your way, it's amazing how much time you have to enjoy the more important things in life. You have time for priceless moments, time to indulge, time to unwind, time to take in the view, time to make memories. Use any of these services and have time for the things that matter most. Bank your way and enjoy the convenience. Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Patriots, all people who love them country bad, love them homeland, will never give it up to another nation. This happy we we da fear. Nobody give it to no Guatemala. Follow me now. This happy we we da fear. Nobody give it to no Guatemala. This time me name is Pupa. Belize me come from the Belize City area. 110% Belize and proud of it. So don't tell me. Patriots, country bad, bad love them homeland. We'll never give it up to another nation. This happy we we da fear. Nobody give it to no Guatemala. Follow me now. This happy we da fear. Nobody give it to no Guatemala. This time me name is Pupa. Belize me come from the Belize City area. 110% Belize and proud of it. So don't tell me patriots. All people who love them country bad, bad love them homeland. We'll never give it up to another nation. This happy we da fear. Nobody give it to no Guatemala. We da fear. Nobody give it to no Guatemala. This time me name is Pupa. Belize me come from the Belize City area. 110% Belize and proud of it. So don't tell me about maritime area. Long time ago agreement by the slave master. Talking about the head and the Belize and dollar because this happy we
Welcome back to our second segment of Sunday Review for this morning. Sunday, May 16th. That is 16th, sure?
That is 17th.
That is 17th. I live good. That is 17th. I'm just saying that because I don't want to think what Creole people say, or what we know to say in the culture, we say they live good. I don't say it because they live good, but anyways, give thanks to life. We're joined by co-host Ellen Sue Joseph, two guests from Northern Belize, Corozal District, Corozal Town, our brother Benedict Palma, the general manager of Rainbow FM, and our brother Kenrick Theus, a member of the Belize Assembly for Persons Living with Diverse Abilities. And we're expecting a call anytime now from Mario Muschamp from the Toledo District. He works with the Toledo Institute for Development and Environment, TIDE, and he's a terrestrial manager. He is one of the lead people in Belize who trains other people about fire. He shared a lot of information that I'm looking forward for him to share with us this morning. Because we're still getting reports. I know we were thankful for the rain, and I guess the rain going to live, right, people?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we were very thankful for that rain.
I noticed we had driving like 5 fires along the road.
Good morning.
And I think it's because people. And I think it's because people throw garbage. So might have stuff that heat and ignite the dry brush. Some people have to be mindful of the environment. Like you can't throw garbage. You know, you have to stop that foolishness. Sometimes you drive behind people and you see garbage thrown through the window. I like, man, I would have bumped there, you know.
Yeah,
sad. It's a sadness.
Yeah,
it's a sadness. Like the bus they pull over, you see garbage. Like where will the garbage go?
It all depends on the type of garbage as it relates to fire. I mean, any garbage.
You were sharing, Brother Theus was having some struggle with his mic, so I know as soon as he's able to get his mic to cooperate, he'll be sure to start.
Yeah, okay. Can you hear me now? Or
yes, we can hear you.
We're
hearing you.
I just wanted to add in, let me just add in something at this point. From my perspective as well, from the outside, a lot of the response I think has been, the only words that come to mind when I think about the response overall, in most cases, it has been disjointed and disorganized. And I say that because up to today, there are people who, like, for example, I have people around my house that they don't have internet. They come to my house and say, please help me with this thing. We go on and we put them in. I made sure and doubly sure that the information I sent would be correct, because I know how that goes. Anyway, the information went out there. Some got responses, some did not get response. So the one that didn't get response out of there were like 8 people. 2 out of those 8 that didn't get a response should have gotten because they were employed prior to, right? Then some of the ones that were not working did get a response, but then up to this date, here we are 2 months later, and they still don't get their card, nor they don't get their money. Then out of that 8, 1 came and said that they said the bank information is incorrect. That is not possible because we checked and double checked. And then she went herself after that to make sure that the account was active. So there are a lot of people out there that have gotten the message that yes, you're approved, but they don't get their money. So I don't know what can be done about that. I see a press release come out said that there's 3,000 people who have wrong information. Okay, but at some point that could be corrected, man. Because if you have the social security number, the bank also has that as well, right? So why aren't they working together? These organizations, and that's why I mean disjointed and disorganized, because they could talk to each other and assist because you're telling people you can't go outside, right? You can't do this, you can't be gathering anywhere, you don't want to go into a long line, but at the same time, they can assist you with somebody just sitting there, going through the system and cross-matching these things to make sure that if Jim Jones gives his name and his social security card, and if the bank has the same information, because the bank has copies too, that should be able to assist. Why isn't that happening? That is a simple thing that can be done. Then, in addition to that, disjointed and disorganized, because I'm looking at, for example, like the information that you get, because one person on the news said, oh, it's 10 per table at the restaurant, which I don't
Excuse me 1 second, Brother Kenrick. One second, please. I just need to interrupt you because I have Brother Mario on the line. He's calling from the Central District. Go ahead, Brother Mario.
Yes, good morning. Yeah. Good morning.
Hello?
Yes, good morning. Are you hearing me now?
Hello?
Are you hearing me? Hello?
I'm not hearing him.
Are you getting me now?
Okay, what I'll go ahead and do is I'll go ahead and call him, and we did this before. I'll call him on my landline because I don't know why I'm not able to get through to him on Krem radio line. So, okay. Where's my brother? Here you go. I'll go ahead and call him and then have him speak. Hello? Hello? Okay, that's not working. Okay, we have to figure it out so we can see how we can get Brother Mario in, because I'm not sure why I'm not getting him on Krem Radio 9. Okay, go ahead, Brother Kenrick. Let me try and work this out to see how we can get our brother on.
All right, sure. I was talking about the fact, like, just an example about the report on the restaurants reopening, where people are unsure whether it's 10 for a table or 10 in the whole restaurant. 10 for a table seems to defeat the thing about social distance. I don't see anybody going out in groups right now that in the restaurant is open. I don't see that happening right now. Because they don't have money, and one, they're scared to be in any big group apart from people that they know or war quarantine as well. The response, for example, some of the NGOs have been outstanding in the response that they have been given, that they've been given to people in Belize. And then some of them, we haven't heard from them up to now. And we won't knock any of them, but the point is that, hey, some of these people jump up all up and down on the news, and whenever something happens and they want their input and they want to be able to influence change, and they make money off of these things. But yet know that when they have the chance to put something in there, that we don't hear from them. I'm not saying that everybody should rush it. I'm saying that if you are in Belize and you are making money from Belizeans at this point and you have something set aside, then try to assist. I'm not saying give us $1 million, but I'm saying to give something. That's pretty much it. I would also want to see one of the new things that should come out, because we are going into the hurricane season as well. So we don't know what that holds for us. The social security system is good because with your card, I mean, that's your name, that's you, that's your date of birth. Nobody else can know. You can have the same, but not the same number, so to speak, so that identifies you. So why not use that whereby in an emergency such as the pandemic then, that the employer should have been mandated by law to hand in those lists as to who had been laid off. That would have helped to speed up this thing as well.
Mr. Kenrick,
process.
Mr. Kenrick, that was done.
That's what I was going to say to Mr. Palmer.
I, as an employer, got an email and I had it. Right?
Then,
yes, that was done. So I don't know where is the problem.
So then now, Mr. Palmer, how are your employees doing now?
Breakdown somewhere there, because then if that was done, why are people who were employed, who actually really do qualify, are not getting? And then some of them that, in my opinion, do not qualify simply because of the fact that they were never ever working. They only had a social security card for good. and they are the ones who receive and the ones who actually, you understand me? So there's a lot of breakdown in there that needs to be addressed.
Some of
Even the numbers, they give about 7 numbers on that thing. There's about 7 numbers you can call and text into. And as I said, I'm helping people here. I have sent texts on behalf of some people, and some of the texts have been unread, unseen for over 2 weeks. Right? The one number that responded, he or she responded once, and that was it. There was no other response beyond that. So I mean, you send it by WhatsApp, you try to call, you can't get in. They don't read the messages. The messages are left unanswered. So how do you assist who needs assistance if you're not even able to talk to the people who can give it such assistance or render it? So there's certain disjointed efforts, and I'm not, again, remember the last emergency was in 1981 in Belize, so that's a long time, you know, when we're out of practice, so to speak. A pandemic, the last one in 1918, so we're not in that effective, so we're out of practice, but at some point, we have systems, and I told, yeah.
Okay, I figured out why I'm not able to hear the brother. It's because I muted Krem television mic to stop the music from playing when we're having conversation. And no matter how I try to unmute it, I'm not able to unmute the call. So I'll go ahead and see if I can call the brother. Thanks, the person who texted me to let me know that they were hearing Mario when Mario was calling in, but that's the reason why I'm trying to unmute my mic, but for whatever reason, I'm not able to unmute the Krem TV mic. Okay, so let me try and call Mario and see if I can. We've done this before, and it was a success, so let's try this again. He may still be on the phone. Yeah, he's on the phone with Krem Radio. JC, can you tell him to hang up, please? Because for whatever reason, I'm not able to unmute Krem TV's mic on my end so that I can get the call. Bear with us, people. It's all a part of the new norm for us as we make every attempt. And it's to understand that not everyone has, and I've said this to people before, not everyone has internet access. It's a privilege to have internet access. Not everyone does. But not because you don't have internet access mean that I won't ask you to be a guest on Sunday Review. People call in on Krem Radio all the time to participate, for example, in WB Morning Vibes Talk Show. And so that's why that is still an option for people. In Mario's case, he's actually in the field on the ground. He does not have internet access. So we're facilitating him with a call. So let me try Mario again and see if I'll be able to get him. Thanks, people, for being patient with us. Let's see if he's still on if he hung up. Okay, there it goes. It's ringing now. You have time.
Yes, hello.
Good morning, Mario. You're on the air. Can you give me thumbs up if you're hearing Ellen Sue? Can you? Good. Good morning, Mario. Thank you for being patient. It's my fault. Thank you, Brother Kenrick. It's my fault why we could not hear you. I muted Krem TV's volume on my end, and I'm not able to unmute it. Anyways, how you do this morning? Which part of Toledo District are you calling from?
Well, I'm currently at the Payne Street National Park right now. So that's northeastern Toledo District.
Okay, and I don't know how many people even know where. I sent a map that I gotten from Tide to ask our MCA if they could show where that portion of the Toledo District is. But there you go. Okay, we have an image of Payne Creek. Sorry,
P-A-Y-N-E apostrophe S.
Payne's Creek.
Payne Creek, yeah, National Park.
Okay, tell her why you did at Payne's Creek National Park.
So basically, Payne Street National Park was declared in 1994 after lobbying by the community with the government to declare this area a protected area to get involved with ecotourism purposes. That's how I came here, working for Tide. Started out as a ranger back in 1999 and currently is terrestrial manager at Tide. I'm responsible for the management of both the Payne Street National Park and the Tide Park.
And what has been the impact during COVID-19 pandemic as it relates to the work that you do? I big you up, but you're one of the most knowledgeable brother that believes when it comes to everything about fire.
I would say everything, but yeah, I've been involved with fire management for the past 7 years. Here in fire can be good and can be bad. Depends on how when and where it's used. So in fire management, you say fire has two phases, has a good and a bad phase. Unfortunately for Belize, we haven't been seeing much of the good phase. We have a lot of the bad phase of fire because of us not having the capacity to really manage the fires. Fire and carry.
What do you mean we don't have the capacity?
It requires, like I said, fire has a lot to do with science, but it also is an art. And I don't think that we really have the science aspect of it as it relates to fire behavior and fire ecology and the impact these fires have on people's lives and livelihoods, people's health, and the environment. And I think that's something that we really need to address at national level.
Right now, I had that in my house, so I could imagine how you feel out a road right now. What has been your experience with fires during the COVID pandemic?
Fires have always been an issue here in Belize, and that is why I personally got involved with it, because it was an issue here at the Creek National Park, impacting pine regeneration, biodiversity, and as well communities that suffer the national park in impact health and livelihood. And so we need to work closely with the communities that surround the protected area so we can address what we are seeing. And so we have been addressing the fires here in the south as a group, as a community, as a people. The only way it can be done. And I think Toledo in a whole has a very good example that the other countries can follow. The other part of the country can follow as it relates to fire management. We don't only use fire, we use fire as a tool for the management of ecosystems, but we also use it to clear land for agricultural purposes. And there are laws that govern how you use fire, when you use it, where you use it. And a lot of people are not knowledgeable of these laws. And so those are some of the things that we have been trying to push here in the South, so people understand the rules and regulations, building the capacity how to use fire properly to ensure that the negative impact of fire is less in the district and hopefully one day across the country.
Mara, you sound so academic and professional. Man, talk to us so we could understand this thing good. It sounds like a lot of fire that happen right now. At least it seems that way. Well, a lot of fire that happen, a lot of fire not happen. What the community members then they do?
A lot of fires that happen, and a lot of these fires are by communities. Most of the fires that we're seeing are milpa burns or people clearing land for agricultural purposes. But again, I don't think a lot of people understand that there's a law as it relates to agricultural burns, the Agricultural Fires Act, that allows you to use fire as a tool for burning land. But there are certain roles and responsibilities that you as the person that is using the fire has. And one of the first things you need to do is apply for that permit from the Agriculture Department to ensure that you have what is necessary to do your burn. Prior to that, you have to prepare land for burn, and according to the permit, you should build what is called a fire place, or what is called in Creole a fire path, around that area that you want to burn to ensure that that fire doesn't get out. But then a lot of us don't understand that the weather conditions and the fuel, the things that you will burn conditions, impact how that fire will behave. And so if it's really hot, dry, and windy, and it's very fuel dry and ready for burning, then you know that you will get a very hot fire, a fire that you might not be able to handle if you don't have the right equipment. And that is, again, is another one of the issue here in Belize. We do not have enough equipment to manage fires properly and do fire management properly.
I'll ask one question and I'll give the mic to Ellen. Firefighters were essential workers doing the state of emergency?
They weren't. And for me, that's a problem. Especially the people responsible for wildland fires. And in this case, in our country, it will be the forest department. So any wildland fire within protected areas or any Krem or government land is the responsibility of the forest department. And was part of this during this time. Even though we knew that this is the time most people use fire, this is the fire season, and one of the only entities who has some of the capacity and some of the equipment needed to address these fires were not considered essential workers.
So far as people concerned, like the fire car, no firefighter, not the with the power on.
Yeah, if you don't have the authorities out there to do the proper enforcement, okay, when they get away, the mind still play.
Ellen Sue, your
yes, so Mr. Bushla, yes, I have two questions. One in regards to slash and burn.
I don't think you're hearing each other.
Oh, he have to listen to the radio now, right? What in regards to slash and burn? Do you see that as a healthy practice?
Can you come back? Because I didn't get the first part.
I said, when it comes to slash and burn, do you see that as a healthy practice?
Again, slash and burn has been a practice for many years, and it was done right. We had people from the agriculture department who used to go out and do the inspection and issuing the permits to ensure that people were doing it right. Best way, clear land, but purpose. The thing is, you have to understand what role the weather and all of these things play, the fuel and all of that.
One moment, Mario. That's an image of Mario Mushjamp, who's on the phone right now calling from Paynes Creek in the Toledo district that you're seeing on the screen. Go ahead, Mario. I got to show you off.
Yeah, the answer is not that. Looking to understand how the fires will behave given certain conditions and certain things that these are the type of capacity we need to build in the country among our farmers and the people who use fire as a tool to ensure that we are doing it right, to lessen the escapes that we're seeing and starting the good face of fire. Again, if you say slash and burn is bad, it's not if it's done right. Because studies have shown that if you burn when conditions are right, that you don't burn all the debris to where you get that white ash. When it's a little wet, when you're left with the black ash, then that ash becomes nutrients to the soil, but not just nutrients to the soil, it also helps sequester carbon. So you're letting go less carbon into the atmosphere. So, so the burning can be done right, that it can be beneficial.
So how does this information get out to the farmers?
Of course. TIDE and the Southern Beliefs for a working group. So I'm going to go a little bit of history here now. Angola was formed in 2007 by best fire management issues here in Southern Beliefs. And it's made up of TIDE, conservation NGOs, 2 long-term forest licensees, and the forest department. And now we're trying to bring communities on board to ensure that we get communities involved and being a part of the decision-making process here in the South, so that we can address what we're seeing with fires. So the Southern Beliefs for a working group was established to do just that. And we have been building capacity here in the South of farmers, so we have trained well over 200 farmers here in Southern Beliefs how to use fire properly. And so we have, in the areas that we are working, for example, here in the communities of Eden and Trio and Medina Bank and so on, communities closer to the highway, the ones that are closer to protected areas that we manage, we are seeing less of these types of that are escaping because of the work that we have been doing with these farmers. And I think that's the way for us to go into the future.
So the forestry department plays no role. They don't seek their expertise. Nothing.
The forest department is currently trying to coordinate fire management at the national level, and trying to see how we can work together to build the capacity at the national level.
Okay.
There's a national wildland fire working group, and you can touch base with the forest department, Mr. Raoul Tut at the forest department, and he can give you all of this information. We have developed a national wildland fire management policy and strategy, so we have the answers to address what we are seeing in a policy and a strategy. It's now up to government and the leaders to really take this policy and strategy and endorse it, and let's start the work implementation that can get rid of that of what we are seeing. I mean, strategy has a lot to do, but we can prioritize and work on the ones that will have more short term, but will have big impact and to address what we are seeing. And those things are there in the strategy.
Brother Benedict and Brother Kenrick, don't have any question and I want to ask Brother Mario?
I just want to commend them actually, because fighting forest fires with the limited equipment and personnel and all that, they did a wonderful job. And the rain came along and gave them a big help as well. And I understand the limitations, and when we think about Paynes Creek, I know the area quite well, and you're talking about thick vegetation there. You know, very, very thick vegetation. So, and whenever the dry weather and the fire get there, it's a hell of a thing to fight. So I think kudos to them, all of them that are on the ground, whether they're in the Paynes Creek area or in out west where the fires were heavily, and in Range Rock, I understand as well in the savannas. These guys did a wonderful job. So I just want to say thank you to them as well.
They are so essential workers will not get recognized and named firefighters.
Yeah,
I think we have to take note of that too, you know, yeah. And after this thing, subsequent list, you know, put together something so we can try to address it. Because if it happens again, with a lot of things need to change. Some people need to add it on, and some people take the list.
That's true.
Respect. What am I to say, Brother Mario?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, we have been going at this for the past 13 or so years. It's time to address fires here in Southern City. We have also expanded and are starting to build capacity at the national level. So we have trained firefighters across Belize from north to south. And I see the need for more of that to happen. But again, firefighting is not an easy task. Have to have that passion and a love for it. And that has been one of the problems that I have been seeing. We have done a lot of training, but it's very few people who have that passion and that drive to really work with it.
And that suit won't have on hat no heck. You wear the firefighting attire, right? The clothes you have to wear for firefighting.
Yeah, it has to be 100% cotton. Anything that's 100%. We do have clothes that are fire retardant clothes that are made specifically for this, but they're very expensive. And so that has been one of the problems to really find money to get the proper equipment. Equipment used for wildland firefighting is very expensive, and they're not from here in Belize, so we have to import them from out of the country. That has been some of the challenges.
Maka, ask you have any woman firefighter on the ground with you?
Of course.
Well, I have to ask?
One of our focus in the past couple of years has been women and building that capacity in women. I mean, because, for example, these rural communities, a lot of the men are out most of the time. They had about 10 women in their group that was fighting the fires, that were in their communities. And one of the communities are really taking on firefighting and fire management crucial and seriously because they are seeing the impact from those fires. And so this year, they were able to suppress the fires and deal with the fires that were coming around their communities. Not only that, is that community has gone ahead and have been working with us for some time now, and so it's the only community in Belize currently that has a community fire management plan. So they have a plan in place how they are going to be addressing fires that are impacting their community and how they are going to be using fires in their community.
Let me ask, you all have conversations with the larger companies who oftentimes you hear on Facebook?
We have had conversations with everybody. We have been talking to everybody here and in the north because we have also done training for cane farmers in the north. So we have done some training for cane farmers in the north so that they can be more responsible and better burn for their cane fields.
Before I let you go, what are the penalties? Are the penalties really stiff for discourage people from breaking the fire laws?
That's the problem. That's one of the problems. Apart from no enforcement of the existing laws, the penalties they are very weak. They are very weak. I think the penalties. I want to kind of like commend the alcalde system here with this one because if you are you're going to pay that person for his crime.
Okay.
I'm saying, and I need to stress this, that I think the governance and the governance of these fires leads in the hands of rural people. You cannot be in Belmapan and be able to manage these fires here in rural Toledo. So some of the changes need to come into place so that we can address what's happening. The governance of these rural fires needs to fall in the hands of the rural people. They're the ones on the ground, they know what's happening, they understand what's going on, they will be able to manage this properly if we give them the right and the right stuff.
Respect, brother. Big salute to you and all the firefighters. People went on, I think, for essential workers. Please remember with firefighters, and we have different gender firefighters. Salute to Bladen, the one who have the community fire plan now. Salute to Bladen community, and we encourage other communities, could contact Tide. That Tide there to contact Mario?
Yes. I am fire management person. I also available. I work with the fire department. That's what we at the national level. Just freedom to be able to contact the people from the fire department. And again, the fire department, I want to commend them. Not having the real necessary training to deal with wildland fires. That we kind of been training structural fires, but wildland fires is a little different. And for them to be able to respond to these fires and doing such a good job, I have to commend them. But I certainly want to see how we can work more together with that department and try to build capacity here as well, so that we can better with fires, especially those that interact with the urban interface, so like those fires from the Belize City, those ones that are interacting with Belmapan and the major towns and so on. To ensure that our fire department has the necessary skills for this.
Salute, brother. Salute. Respect to our firefighters. We are going and close out this segment. Thanks, Mario, for your patience and commitment to fighting fires.
Anytime you want me to share any information as it relates to fire, feel free to contact me. I'm here, ready to share. Also here ready to help with capacity building at the national. That is needed. It's been sitting on a shelf since 2009. It's picked up. We have been using it even though it has not been endorsed here in Southern Belize. A lot of what I do comes straight out in that policy and strategy.
Respect to that, brother. Thanks, Mario. One, I don't need to put the mic on mute because I get feedback from somebody. So I make sure the mic there on mute when I'm on the air, please. We'll go ahead and take a final break for the morning. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Smart está totalmente preparado para las demandas de nuestra red para facilitar a los que trabajan desde casa y para que los clientes continúen comunicando con amigos y familiares. Con todo el país recluidos en casa, nuestro equipo ha impulsado servicios y promociones más innovadores como nuestros datos dobles, junto con nuevas formas de comprar servicios móviles a través de nuestra aplicación y agentes en todo el país. Smart se enorgullece de tener personal dedicado trabajando desde casa, así como en el campo para mantener la comunicación continua. Nuestros clientes también pueden seguir nuestro gimnasio en línea, ciencia, comedia y otros grandes segmentos para permanecer activos en casa. Smart también ha patrocinado la línea directa gratuita del Ministerio de Salud. Además, obsequio a todo el personal médico de primera línea un número de prepago con tiempo aire de $50 para mantenerse en contacto en estos tiempos. Tenga por seguro que estamos con usted y busca más promociones semanales en SMS, voz y datos. Sea Smart y manténgase a salvo.
Belize is the only country in the region that does not have an LPG marine terminal. In other words, we depend on other countries in the region to get our cooking gas. Several years ago, the government of Belize reached out to the Belizean private sector to provide the funding so that Belize could access world markets for cooking gas directly. We knew that importing LPG directly to Belize was an expensive undertaking, but key to unlocking improved pricing, a diversity of gas products, and LPG security for the Belizean people. It was because of this funding that Belize shall have a national gas company of its own. Currently, LPG is shipped from the US Gulf Coast, completely bypassing Belize and onto the terminals in Guatemala and Honduras. The LPG is then trucked to Belize through Guatemala. All the other countries in our region have realized through the years that long transportation systems such as this negatively affect the cost of LPG and have therefore invested in terminals of their own. Why should Belize stay behind? The government of Belize and Belize's private sector have partnered to develop the National Gas Company Belize Limited. NGC is majority owned by Belizeans, including the government of Belize, with important and welcome foreign direct investment. NGC has invested over $60 million to develop Belize's first modern gas terminal with storage capacity of over 1.5 million gallons. The facilities are strategically located as per Government of Belize requests in the northern, central, and southern regions of our country. Our nation's first state-of-the-art gas terminal and distribution system is capable of storing 1.5 times the nation's monthly consumption, thereby preparing us for uncertainties like COVID-19 and climate change. NGC is truly a model of a public-private partnership, working for the acquisition of this key national asset. NGC will not be involved in the retail distribution of LPG. The current retailers and Belizean companies who wish to participate in the industry will continue to operate their existing distribution network. We can all have peace of mind knowing that the gas quality, price, and gas security for Belize has been ensured. The National Gas Company is a proud example of Belizean innovation, Belizean tenacity, and Belizean self-sufficiency. Man, this thing that for we. No longer will we be the only country in the region without its own gas terminal. NGC is a testament to Belize's can-do spirit, and I am a proud member of the NGC team.
In May of this year, the National Gas Company will make history operating the first Belizean LPG marine terminal and providing LPG for wholesale customers across the entire nation. the National Gas Company Belize Limited, fueling Belize forward.
Patriots, all people who love them country bad, love them homeland, will never give it up to another nation. This happy we with a fear. Nobody give it to no Guatemala. Follow me now. This happy we with a fear. Nobody give it to no Guatemala. This time me name is Pupa. Belize me come from the Belize City area. 110% Belize and proud of it. Don't tell me. Patriots, all people who love them country bad, love them people who love them country bad, love them homeland, will never give it up to another nation. This happy we with a fear. Nobody give it to no Guatemala. Follow me now. This happy we with a fear. Nobody give it to no Guatemala. This time me name is Pupa. Belize me come from the Belize City area. 110% Belize and proud of it. Don't tell me about maritime area. Long time ago agreement by the slave master. Talking about the head and the Belize and dollar because this happy we with a fear. Nobody give it to no Guatemala. This happy we with a fear. Nobody give it to no Guatemala. I know we should always help our neighbor, especially in time of a natural disaster. But this is not the case with Guatemala because the poor people will never see a dollar. Only a few rich man will start to get richer. To the Prime Minister be happy, like a letter because
Mr. Politician, we got to change the plans.
God have mercy.
Mr. Politician, we got to change the plans.
This happy we with a fear. Nobody give it to no Guatemala. This happy we with a fear. Nobody give it to no Guatemala. Not an inch, not a foot, not a centimeter. We never give it to Guatemala because look what them do to the people of my color. If them speak too loud, sure to get murder. Look what them do to the Indian Maya. Holy by them massacre. La mismo presidente quiere we agua because this happy we.
Of Sunday Review. Yeah, Maureen Coleman, Ellen Sue Joseph, Benedict Palma, and our brother Kenrick Theus. We had on the line earlier our brother Mario Muschamp, the terrestrial manager of Toledo Institute for Environment, and he called from Payne Creek in the Toledo district, giving a thorough report. So it's time for us to share our final thoughts, and you know we talked about it during the break. And with when Benedict gave report, cars. Oh, and to tell you, one of the things that has been glaring and apparent since Belize went into a state of emergency is the discrepancy, the discrimination, where laws are applied to a certain group of people, and so other ones that are normal Belizeans. And it wouldn't be, we're seeing it, we're hearing it, we're experiencing it. Maybe we haven't talked about it in a public space. We need to provide a space for that, to hold those in leadership accountable, to say, this is not okay. It's not okay for you to do wrong things to people. It's publicly known, seen, and heard. And then you just continue like business as usual. But hello, brother Kenrick Theus, his final thoughts, brother. I want to close out and say exactly where
For me, really, I just want to say to all Belizeans that they need to look to pay much attention to the numbers that we have here, because those are indirect to us at this point. And I say indirect because what is most direct to us right now are the cases are at the other countries around us. For example, Mexico yesterday alone had 274 deaths in the entire country. A lot of it is concentrated in some of the southern part. All of Mexico is a huge country. Guatemala had about 3 or 4, I believe. Honduras the same thing. So everybody has these huge amounts of cases. We are like a bubble, and if you know anything about bubbles, you know they're easy to burst. So any simple penetration from one person across the border, or any asymptomatic person who is sick and doesn't know, can be going around spreading this disease. And so we need to take it seriously about social distancing. I was looking on the news on another station just now, where literally hundreds of people were gathered for some land lunch, out west. I mean, there were like all less than 2-3 feet apart. I understand you knew that. I do understand, but in the middle of the presence, I mean that is a big social gathering. Then the next thing, if they get arrested, they're going to scream bloody murder. So we need to take it seriously. I think we're not taking. I'm not taking it seriously enough. Because we think that there's none. We are free in the sense that there are no cases. That doesn't mean that there are not people in here. It could be people who are sick right now and self-medicating, thinking, oh, it's just a regular flu, it's just a regular cough, and taking care of it with their mother. So we don't know until those cases come out, and they say, oh my God, I wasn't aware. Then it's too late. Because if you think that inconvenience and oppress are the same thing, then you're sadly mistaken. This thing has inconvenience in us country. But oppression could easily come in, because the minute this thing gets a hand, trust me, they will get the mother of all lockdowns. And then if they think that they're starving now, they're going to starve much more down the road, because nobody will be able to get anything to them, because they'll have to be 24 hours lockdown like in Guatemala right now. There's a 24-hour lockdown in Guatemala because their cases getting, that is there. Just try to behave ourselves, try to practice social distancing, wear our masks as much as we can, wash our hands. How you call it? Hand sanitizer. Hand washing works better, but along with that, you can use the hand sanitizer as well. And try to limit who comes to your house, because it's not time for a free-for-all. There are people having parties. Right, not too far from here, there was a big, next to a beach party, I would call it, because they had 2 pools in the yard, and they had at least about 20 people in there, right? Everybody coming from all over the place, and some of them did not or do not live in that house. I know the house, you see? And then it's just pretty sad that they would do something like that, but I'm just saying to us to practice these things and try to save ourselves, because the alternative is going to be 10 times worse.
Turn it on right now. That was our brother Kenrick Theos, who is a member of the Belize Assembly for Persons with Diverse Abilities. And we really appreciate you being on the show this morning, brother, and everything that you share as a person living with diverse ability, as a double amputee, and for giving voice for people from that particular vulnerable group of people in Belize. Brother Benedict Palmer, General Manager of Rainbow FM in Corozal Town, Corozal. Make we hear your final thoughts.
All right, yes, yeah. Final thought. Well, when it comes to this whole pandemic, first of all, we don't know how long this thing will go, right? They say you hope for the best and you prepare for the worst. I wonder about, like, the border probably will be the last thing that would open up. But you have to wonder about the workers, about the free zone workers, the casino workers. Like parties, we should not be having parties, right? What about the band and the DJs and everybody that cater for these parties that basically live off of these things, right? People look at it and they say, well, these things are not important things, right? But there are people actually, it's important for them because they live off of it, right? And while the government say you can't open, you can't do this, we understand that. But what help will the government give to these people, right? How will they help them? We have not went into a total lockdown like how others countries have gone. And the way I see the government right now, that they cannot afford a lockdown. Because a lockdown would be like if they put you in a jail, they lock you up so they have to feed you, right? So if we get a total lockdown, that means the government need to feed everybody. House to house go and give out. And they are not prepared for that. They cannot do that. So that's why we are in a state of emergency, but not a total lockdown, right? When it comes to the mass and going out in public, and I will say that right now, it seems that we don't have cases, right? Well, we don't have non-registered case, right? We are at 0. Although maybe one might be up there that we don't know about. But I would say we don't really have case because, to be honest, last month, if you would have went out Corozal and go to shop and buying, if anybody that was going out had the virus, that would have spread long time. Because a lot of people go out and they are not taking care, right? Especially when it comes to the social distancing. That is not happening. If it was 3 feet, now it's 6 feet. It is not happening. This thing with the restaurant opening and 10 person per table, when I listen to the Prime Minister, I understand from the Prime Minister is 10 person in the outside restaurant. That's what I understand. But when the AG came on, then it's a different story. Because according to the AG, it's 10 person per table, and then you must have a 6 feet space. Another table, you have another 10 person, right? And this is where people get confused. Like you don't sure. No, like I said, if you listen to the AG and you follow the AG, well, you follow what he said. For example, with the mask, the AG mentioned that if you are driving in your private vehicle by yourself, or maybe with your wife, or just the immediate family, you can be in the vehicle without the mask. But if you are coming to a checkpoint, or if you are going to come out, you must have the mask that you can put it on, right? That is something probably a lot of people still are not aware of. Some people do it, some people did not do it. This morning, I went to the market in Corozal, right? I went to buy, you can go to the market and get tacos. And a guy went to buy tacos and he did not have mask on, right? Some people go, they sit down, and they would, of course, you have to take it off or bring it down to eat, right? But I saw a guy there, he came without the mask. So I don't know if he had it or he had it in his pocket or what the situation. But another thing is that the law is there, the SI is there. Is the police really policing it? Are they really checking? And who are they checking? Because we have seen on social media where they are, I don't want to say the word harass, but they are picking, baby, on certain people, and then, like you say, other people get wet, right? We had the incident with our colleague from Channel 7 that was shown without a mask, and the police have not said nothing about it. So we don't know if what will come out of that, right? But yeah, I think that's a big final thought, right?
Wait, but I want to tell you about a party what I had up there. You know what I talk about it, yeah?
Yeah, well, I just say the musician, of course, Corozal have probably the biggest, he have the biggest band, right? More than one. We have a lot of band, we have a DJ and so forth. Some of these guys that play in band, that's their livelihood, right? Some of them have the maybe 8 to 5 or only part-time or extra job, but majority, that's what they do. And imagine from March, you have not been playing. Some of you get job and they cancel jobs, so you have to actually return back whatever you collected from it, right? But from then to now, you're not playing, right? So I know last week we had Mother's Day, and we have the biggest band in Corozal, Gil Harris 7. They had a Mother's Day program that they did on their land. Because they have a big land where I'm not sure how many acres, but it's big, and you can move from one of them house to the other house, right? But anyhow, they set up the stage, they set up the system, and you could go on YouTube or Facebook and you can see it if you want to see it, right? And they had a Mother's Day program. They got business to sponsors, they got ministers to sponsors.
Last week Sunday?
Yeah, the 10th of May, that was Mother's Day. Well, I was not there, so I know that the MC, they had an MC as well. The MC is mentioned that throughout the whole program, one time the police went, right? So the police was good to them. So one time the police went, but they were allowed. They had I think the program started about 2 after 2, which probably about 5, so about 2 to 3 hours, no? It was not only music, they play music, they had people messaging. They were asking for funds, basically. They were asking for funds to assist with the band, with members of the band. The band have not been playing, right? So they're asking people to contribute. And I think it was a success for them, no? So now others band probably see this happen, and maybe other band will want to do the same thing. Now I don't know if it's okay, if it's legal to do that, right? They did that last week, they did it on their own house. I know in Orange One, I have seen U Connection did it. I think they did it in their studio, in a closed room. And their band is much smaller, they have less members. When you look at Gilari, well, that's the biggest band, so more members. This is something that right now, parties definitely May, June, that will not be happening. So of course, for the rest of May and June, these musicians, these DJs won't be having job. So the only way for them to do is to do as they say, virtual concert, right? And ask for donation. So that is what they did. I think I understand. I think they will do a Father's Day. They mentioned they will do Father's Day. I saw that U Connection will be doing next week for the holiday. We have a holiday on the 24th, so they are planning to do that next week. So these are things that people are doing, whether it's, like I say, whether it's right or wrong, people are doing it because they have to, right? You are closed, the government say you need to close, you cannot, but they are not helping you. So if they don't help you, who can you blame for it, right?
Respect, brother. Thanks for the report. Thanks for the vibes from up north with Solidarity Radio Station at the upper here WB the morning time up north. Thanks, Benedict. Appreciate your co-host, Ellen Sue Joseph.
Yes. All of us advise the truck drivers then between Belize City and around mile 21. So take the time, right? Because they overtake. You the left for space between you and the vehicle front of you, and they overtake you for come fit in that space and traffic still they come. So most of the time you find yourself have to pull off because of a big truck. I don't know, and they move at some speed there. They make you feel like you like you stop when they fly past you. Right? I don't want to tell the people there just because we get Wali pressure off when it comes to this whole COVID lockdown that we can't take it just because no positive case. It just means nobody where they test positive. We might still have people both here were positive. So when they set this up, not a rush, they not to do nothing, not to move too fast, you know. We can't move too fast. Remember that the borders porous. Remember our neighbors they send home a lot of America, they deport people, and then they deport people where they know positive with COVID. When people get deported sometimes and they like stay where part they belongs, they want to come somewhere else where they could live or lead better life, and people might sneak cross. So we have to be mindful that just because the government say no positive COVID, means that we don't have the possibility of people positive in a wrong way. Some of take the lead precaution, continue to wash your hand. The mask thing that is. The mask that not make the spit reach to a certain distance, right? So the mask that don't matter. If you to run like what the age is, if you to run, and I just you want to run, you know to talk to nobody. Nobody wrong you to talk. That's why they allow you to not use the mask. When you're part of the bus, they say when you get part of the bus, you put on your mask, you not talk. So you could sit down to that person because you don't know what talk. When you're in a church, they have a social distance because you want to sing your prayers. So if you to sing saliva, so that the difference when it comes to the people that say, but how you could get part of the bus but you can't go to church? Because when you're part of the bus, you don't have to talk. When you're at church, you're going to go sing and you praise and you do all kind of thing, right? When you reach there, you want to embrace your brother, embrace your church sister. So there are the things that we have to be mindful of that whole, as simple and straightforward. So when we look past some of the things that they put in a place, we might say, but that don't make sense, that don't make sense. Where when that beach, where you go do this, the whole restaurant thing don't make sense because when people go dine, they talk. Nobody just go eat. So to me, that will at least slip up for the restaurants, but we have to think about all the least small business there, where just like when Mr. Palmer said, we have to think about the small business there, but we as the citizens have to keep in mind that for the economy, what we have to try help, but yet we have to keep ourselves safe, right? So the safety first, guys, the safety. I like how Mr. Theo said that that inconvenience and not oppression. You understand? So we have to realize what we prefer. Because if they said it's only phase one where we're going through that the first and the second one might be worse. The second one will only be worse if we allow it to be worse. We the citizens. All right? And we're done to go through hard times. We're done to go through hard times. Thanks to all the community effort where they get out food to people, because it seems like that only the community they feed is the community they give to itself more than where the government they provide. Right? And we can't worry about this relief money because it looks like no relief money there anyway. So make we start simplify how we live. I always with I tell this now for the past 3 show, make we change the idea what the food. We don't have to go to no shop and get anything out of pack to eat. Learn how to convert your banana, your plantain, and that into nice solid meals. And that we need to do. We only need one these solid meals for the day, you know. We're not a mango season, you know, eat mango the morning, eat mango the afternoon. When evening come and try make something salad and you go sleep. You get me? We don't have to do real. Breakfast, lunch, get your mango, get your plum, get whatever. Get your ripe banana.
I tell you, Ellen, we study you, we have got good bowel movement, Ellen. Thanks, Ellen. That I really did a good synopsis and touched a number of things that we could definitely relate to. Don't mind. When he had started jumping on top, but my people when they send back home and call the portica and one of theirs, and I say, Ellen, careful now. I said anything but my people are a coffee, but you're straight, Ellen. I have to make you know.
People with diverse ability, when you see people and they have a physical disability or inability to perform certain things, it don't mean that there's something wrong with them. Not to look down for people because you don't have that physical capability to complete what task the way how you do it. You understand? I have to respect one another. I know the one thing where it gets to me that when somebody was tear down somebody with a diverse ability, like that just it gets to me. Sometimes that make a cuss for a street. That most of the time
you just like cuss.
No, most of the time that I will make a cuss for a street because they're like, why you are staring on me? You don't think that person aware of who they are already? They're staring. They're like, I don't like it. When you start staring.
Respect. Salute to that. And recognizing again, BAPTA, which the organization the office is at the corner of Bruce Street and Vernon Street in Belize City, and they're open to getting volunteers and new members. Definitely before I lock off, I just two people I want to hail up. I want to hail up the Belize media, especially the Belize City one day. When we brought them in the protest front Channel 5, I think 4 days ago, and the media went out there. And it was brought to my attention, it's through Jose Spat and Moses Solve and Jaime Anderson, I believe, on Facebook. They were the ones who brought it to my attention that Jules Vasquez from News 7 was not wearing his mask. And there were police officers out there. Now, we know, we saw, it's about just Friday, News 5 and other media houses showed a video, I believe it was from up north, with a minor. Or the police officer got a youth to drag on up, take out the gun, call the brother, don't have a mask. I just say as human beings, we ought to treat people with dignity. But this one in particular, I don't care how I holler out for the compol, everybody they holler out for the compol. Commissioner of Police know who for answer and when for answer and know what he say. And people, I get advised, like people act like they can't criticize the Commissioner of Police. The Commissioner of Police get 2 cents. Get way more credit than what he deserve. Real talk. And I don't find out for being brother, we could take constructive critique. What is wrong in particular? In a no for humble self, in one of the instances then where the police officers, because there's been a number of reports since Belize has been in a state of emergency that police officers have abused Belizean citizens. Then they do it before and they say in the state of emergency window. And the situation with the 3 police officers who to date, they still not release current pictures of what the police officers they look as adult to that day. They released 2 pictures where I say when they were younger. Why would I show the current pictures of what the officers they look? When we bring go to court, when we parade them picture up and down on the TV and in the newspaper. That's not fair treatment. They're not treat everybody fair in that instance. In that case, I did hold the commissioner of police accountable because I knew one of them had mental illness, was living with a mental illness. And he came out and said that that wasn't true, and the Mental Health Association sent out a press release. You know, humble yourself and call and say, listen, I'm wrong. No, and you know, here he genuinely apologized. That the thing really got at the man head. I mean, like, he not expert on everything. He knew everything that compel. And I said, look, you know, all I want to say here, the man. Give credit where credit due, and likewise hold leadership accountable. So Commissioner of Police, leadership accountable. Commissioner of Police, we are waiting to hear when Vasquez will be arrested and charged because he broke the law of being in the public and not wearing a mask. And if that not happen, Commissioner of Police, then your minister, your CEO, National Security, need to tell Belizean people why certain people get treated differently. And then everybody else will stop and charge for mask, try release their people as soon as possible and not charge them for nothing. Because it's double standard, blatant like that. Trust and believe long as I got voice, this is one you know I hear about. The media houses, I'm not accountable to. I never run that story there. Because I don't media work, I want to run the story. That was a newsworthy story. If I run it, I never see it, beg pardon. But I certainly never see it. So I just say, people don't have a lot of stress, you know. I never said that Belizean people no make wrong choices, no broke the law. I never said that. Hold we accountable likewise, but no say. We will likewise hold leadership accountable, and especially when you're in a leadership position, more eyes upon you. So my skin thick. So we want just go and charge and arrest Jules Vasquez because he broke the law. No. I say anything when I shoot, make a no panel, make a no if I talk to I say anything when I never shoot.
Then I really can't do that, yeah, because I'm going to out my I'll tell you why, because then I'm going to out for my birthday, I gone by Baron Bliss Grave, I'm going to do all these things. And I had my mask. But I said that my birthday, and I got a professional photographer. I said, well, make the man stop me with a police pass. He said, put on a mask. I said, officer, but I explained the situation. No, officer, wait there. He said, where I was do. He come, all of them come out of the truck, do the talk for 15 minutes. When I noticed, they left me alone. They left me on the front. Why? Because they come without no mask. You get me? Oh. So these are the things, so they know. I had my mask, you know. Remember, I explained to one, the master, when you're the talk, brother. If I know the talk, this man just to snap. Nobody at risk because they too, the photographer, assistant have a mask. I don't have a mask, but the mask they right for me. So no, if I the talk, I have to put on my mask because I the talk, no. But call. Right? So when he conscious, then I like, he say, okay, right there the thing done. It dissolves right there because it.
But Ellen Sue, the law never say, on a translate when you put on a mask in a public. The law never say that. The law say, if you're in a public, you wear the mask.
In a public road.
And because of holding the go out of we people like, roots people in particular.
That is it.
So that's why they say we're good for the goose, good for the gander. They people in a political office, because I see the post on Facebook, somebody say, how can I not charge and arrest the Prime Minister? Not tell me, listen, Not tell me the Prime Minister them did I house. Cause I don't know if everybody not in house handle for him camera. Me don't know who made it. Me don't know if they were 6 feet apart. Me don't know. So no come and answer on yourself up here. We can't fool the top, but I don't fool the listen. And so we just say, listen, if you want to be fair, deal with everybody, including Prime Minister, I think he will get charged or arrested too.
You know that. You know that. You know.
Well, I want people like me, other activists and other bold Belizeans, want to talk about you know. I don't want to talk about you know Belize. I talk about you know the region as well, make people know what to deal with. Because only someone want to get a sense, and I don't care that who in a leadership. Lead by example. I don't know how to feel and certain people want to treat how they want to treat.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, brother.
Yeah. I just add one thing to that point, right? Couple of years ago, I got a friend from Corozal who joined the police department, right? So one day I gave him a ride from Belize to Corozal. So while I gave him, I was talking to him, and he was explaining to me that when police have checkpoint or wherever police is, and a minister pass, whenever a minister pass or drive, they are not allowed to check any minister. The minister have the go ahead. They could just go through. They are not allowed to check any minister. This is what this police guy told me, right? And this is why when they are checkpoint or wherever, I guess probably custom as well, probably they pass the border, they don't check them. They have a free ticket. They just pass through. So no police will stop a minister and worse, try to charge a minister. That will not happen.
Okay, then make a holla for the Minister of National Security, the CEO of National Security, and the Commissioner of Police. Only are the big people then. Leadership starts from the top. Now, when we talk about some of we rogue police officers, you have to look on the leadership at the top. If leadership see and know their injustice to get done and not do nothing meaningful about it for change the system, they don't say why the police then behave how they behave.
Yeah.
So make we wait and see what happened this week. Or if then just maybe they like attention, I don't know. But attention I don't like trust, I believe. Me as somebody had a big mouth one day. Where I talk about you know, I talk about you know, I talk about you know, I talk about you know. You know, I get tired of hearing we talk about it, you know. And I want to say to the people, and listen, Jews are people just like everybody else. We don't have to get on Facebook and say with all respect, Mr. No. We don't need for preference holding Jews accountable. We could just deal with it. I tell him that people like everybody else. I want to start to feel comfortably in our skin people. I don't necessarily disrespect nobody. We just attack the truth like it is. You make that with me. What do you think may happen? Salute Marisol Amaya and all other media workers will wear their mask. Marisol Amaya in particular, when she made the wear for she one and I never laugh and wear it. Other media workers will made the wear it at the time. Salute to her. This show I want to repeat 5:30-ish this evening because we're gone over our time limit. Please I encourage you to download the Krem Radio app. So because you're not a live stream, because with a Skype, you can listen to Krem Sunday Review on Krem Radio app. Thanks, Christy, for training, and Jada in the studio as our MCO, JC, our zoo scientist. Again, thanks to our panel, our panelists, and to the people who tuned in to listen. Until next Sunday, have a beautiful day.
This one goes out to all patriots, all people who love them country bad, love them homeland. We'll never give it up to another nation. This after we we da fear. Nobody give it to no Guatemala. Follow me now.